여러분들의 멘탈을 무장시켜드리는 멘탈 무장소. 지금까지 몰랐던 진실을 알려드릴 시간입니다. 우린 매일 같은 하루를 반복합니다. 눈 뜨자마자 휴대폰을 보고 뉴스가 정해준 걱정거리를 떠올리고 남이 정한 기준에 맞춰 성공을 계산하죠. 그런데 그 기준은 누가 만든 걸까요? 세상은 우리에게 선택의 자유가 있다고 말하지만 사실 선택지는 이미 만들어져 있습니다. 학교에서, 미디어에서, 광고 속에서 우리 생각의 방향은 조용히 설계되어 왔죠. 그걸 사람들은 매트릭스라고 부릅니다. 그리고 그 매트릭스의 뒤에는 세상을 움직이는 극소수의 손, 엘리트, 혹은 누군가는 일루미나티라고 부르는 사람들이 있죠. 하지만 무서운 건 그들이 아닙니다. 진짜 무서운 건 우리가 그들의 존재조차 의심하지 않는다는 것, 그리고 의심하지 않는 걸 당연하다고 믿는다는 것입니다. 영화 속 매트릭스는 인공지능이 만든 가짜 현실이었죠. 인간은 기계에 연결된 채 꿈을 현실이라 착각하며 살아갔습니다. 하지만 현실의 매트릭스는 훨씬 더 교묘합니다. 여기엔 전선도 기계도 없죠. 대신 스크린, 뉴스, 그리고 상식이라는 이름이 있습니다. 영화 속 매트릭스는 눈을 뜨면 깨어났지만 현실의 매트릭스는 생각해야만 깨어날 수 있습니다. 거짓된 세상을 만든 건 인공지능이 아니라 우리를 믿게 만든 사회 구조, 교육, 언론, 돈, 그리고 두려움입니다. 영화에 너는 약을 먹고 깨어났지만 현실에 우리는 질문을 해야 깨어납니다. 이건 진짜일까? 그 한마디가 진짜 자유의 시작입니다. 여러분 중에는 저를 미친놈이라고 생각하는 분들도 계시겠죠. 그건 여러분이 학교라는 통제 시스템에 이미 세뇌당했기 때문입니다. 주위 사람들은 대학은 가야지 라고 말합니다. 하하하, 저는 정말 멍청하기 짝이 없다고 생각합니다. 물론 저를 미쳤다고 생각하시는 게 당연합니다. 하지만 저만 이렇게 생각할까요? 약 2천만 달러, 한화로 약 276억 원의 자산을 가진 사업가 앤드류 테이트는 어떻게 생각할까요?
High enough yet. I often compare it to but it's like a fishbowl, right? You have people living inside of the fish tank and they're swimming around talking about how free they are. And they say, oh, I can see in all directions and I don't see any walls and I'm free. And I'm sure that's true unless you try and swim too far, and then you're going to start bouncing up against glass walls and you're going to realize that there are control mechanisms that are designed to prevent people from learning too much or saying too much or having too much unless you are controlled to some degree. And I guess that's a simple way of explaining it, the Matrix as a whole. I actually was having this conversation with Tristan the other day that I feel like this whole generation of people becoming famous on their own merit and on their own back. I say generation, it's probably only about 6-7 years old that a podcaster or somebody can come along and garner international attention without needing a gatekeeper as such. I know you're still on YouTube, but YouTube to a degree is still a gatekeeper. You said about David's been banned. I've been banned. I hope you survive for as long as possible, my friend.
I was banned twice after covering that story.
Well, there you go. So if you work in traditional entertainment industries, there's a gatekeeper. There's a manager or a producer or a director or a record label or a sports team, whatever. There's somebody who you've signed that contract with who will prevent you from doing things or saying things they don't want you to say. Otherwise, it's all over. There's a gatekeeper. And now we've entered a generation, or we've entered a time where people can come along, become famous on their own back, of their own merit. Especially with Rumble and X, these other platforms, you can avoid gatekeepers. And that is very aggravating to the people who only want certain ideas purported. So their answer to that is lawfare. Their answer to that is the legal system. You say, okay, well, this person's talking too much and there's no manager we can call to make sure he shuts up. Let's try and bribe him with some money. Let's try and get him a sponsorship contract. Let's get him under someone's heel. If the person declines such a sponsorship contract, then the answer after that is to try and shut you up, ban you everywhere. And if that fails, the only move they have left is to put you in jail. And what they'll do is they'll go to the legal system, they'll assign a prosecutor, and they'll say, do whatever it takes to ruin this person's life. And he'll do his very best. And that's why I talk about the fish tank, because people are swimming around inside of the water and they believe the legal system is fair, and they believe that everything you're told in the news is true, and that there's no reason for the Matrix to exist. Why would it exist? Why would there be this big collusion to try and prevent certain ideas being released to the public? I've never experienced any of these things. Well, that's because you're being a good little fish. You're inside of the bowl. If you try and go too far, you'll start bumping up against the glass wall, and the glass wall can be your social media accounts, it can be your bank accounts, it can be your freedom to live and breathe, because they will throw you in a cell. And I guess, perhaps I don't want to be too forgiving. I'm often called too nice. I don't even know this. I'm called too nice far too often. But I sit and I analyze, and you have to understand that although they're destroying my life, I don't take it so personally, because I very much understand why they're doing it. And I understand the enemy I have chosen. I feel like the best thing I can be in this situation is to not be emotional about what's happening to me. Because if I'm emotional, I don't think it allows me to think rationally. And I look at it very simply, and I ask the people at home who don't believe in the Matrix, think of it this simply. If you owned a company and you had members of staff, and you wanted your members of staff to act in a certain way, and you had a couple members of staff who continually defied your orders and wouldn't do as you told them or asked them to do, even though what you need them to do is to the best interests of the company as a whole. They're coming along and acting different than you want them to act, and it's damaging your bottom line. You would fire them. Well, you can think of the world as a company, and they have decided that certain ideas are good for them. I disagree. They've decided that certain moral standings and geopolitical decisions are good for them, and of course I disagree. And I'm the bad employee. And unfortunately for them, people are listening to me talk. So now I'm inspiring a little rebellion around the water cooler on the lunch break. And they've thought, well, we have to stop this. And they've come along and are using the tools they have at their disposal. And first they're going to slander you and cancel you everywhere and try their very best to convince the world you're a bad person. And if that fails, they will throw you in jail. And I understand why they're doing what they're doing. I'm not personally offended, if that makes sense. I understand the battle I'm in. Maybe I should be offended. Maybe I should wake up and say they've taken all my money and they're taking me away from my children, they're wasting my life. Maybe I should care. But when they come to arrest me, I'm very much like, well, this is the game we play. It's like losing a character, and it's like losing a little piece in checkers. You took my piece. Like that's the game, and perhaps I'm too rational about it. But anybody at home who doesn't understand that it's really that simple, that if you owned a company, you wouldn't allow bad employees to inspire a rebellion against the company, and the governments don't allow individuals to speak too much truth about how evil these governments are. Now, the problem with all of this is that I'm on the right side of history and I'm right and they're wrong and they're genuinely evil. That's the problem with all of it. The problem with all of it is I'm actually the good guy. But they don't see it that way. They see themselves as the good guy. I am the bad guy because I will not wear a dress. And therefore, I must pay the price.
앤드류 테이트가 한 말도 못 믿으시겠죠? 왜냐하면 여러분은 이미 세뇌당했기 때문입니다. 제가 무슨 말을 하든 안 믿으시겠죠? 저를 미친놈이라고 생각하신다면 제 영상을 보지 말고 꺼져주세요. 하지만 제 영상을 지켜봐주신다면 세상을 꿰뚫는 능력을 얻으실 겁니다. 그렇다면 일루미나티의 진실, 캐나다 출신의 배우이자 코미디언, 화가, 작가인 짐 캐리는 어떻게 생각할까요? 손으로 눈 주위를 삼각형 모양으로 만드는 제스처를 했습니다. 그리고 방송에서는 사람들은 웃지 않고 진지하게 들었죠. 하지만 이걸 농담처럼 넘기려고 방송에 웃음소리를 계속 추가합니다.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Oh, I like it. It uses scraping.
It's the symbol of the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? Like, for years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, when they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things, and, you know, and you know, look at him trying to come it up. It's hilarious. And, you know, and I'm sick of, hold on a second.
여러분이 보시다시피 연예인이나 TV에 나오는 사람들은 정부에 의해 고용되었습니다. 절대 웃긴 상황이 아닌데도 계속 웃음소리를 추가했죠. 왜냐하면 세상의 진실이 들통날까봐 그런 겁니다. 절대 농담이 아닙니다. 세상에 숨겨진 진실을 알고 진짜 성공과 부를 얻고 싶다면 지금 구독하고 끝까지 함께하세요. 여러분 제 채널을 끝까지 함께해 주신다면 분명 그에 대한 보상이 여러분을 기다리고 있을 겁니다. 시청해 주셔서 감사합니다.